And a very good afternoon to everybody here on the live stream. Just wanted to wish you a happy Sunday afternoon / evening, depending on where you are in the world. So I wanted to cover a few things today. Obviously, Christmas is around the corner, so there are a lot of people who have already started traveling, including a lot of our followers here on this channel and page. There are a lot of questions that seem to be popping up as well from first-time travelers, and so we'll just have a look at that today. So I guess a lot of people have looked at the title here, and it's got here, first time in Singapore, where should I stay? And that's probably one of the top questions that we do get coming through on the feeds, and that's a question which I always avoid. And I don't give an answer to, and there's a particular reason why, and I think when we go through it you will understand why, and it is a very subjective and a very personal topic to a lot of people, right? So personal in the sense of your likes and dislikes, what you're actually looking for, and obviously the budget. Okay, so to some people they're a bit more well prepared and have a lot of savings and they can just go and spend as they wish, and other people are budget travelers, which I think a lot of the people on this group are. So being a budget traveler, how do you actually go about preparing for this trip? Singapore is definitely not one of the most cheap places. It's one of the most expensive actually in this particular region. And so how do you as a budget traveler manage your budget coming to a place like this? Okay, so that's really what we're going to have a look at today. So let's get started. Let me just see if this works. Here we go. All right. So the biggest question here is the closest hotel to attractions. Where should I stay? So, we've got this very iconic picture here, which has Marina Bay Sands and the Art Science Museum on the left. And everyone loves this place. If you could choose a place to stay, I would say most people have chosen the Marina Bay Sands. Okay, so it's up there being the #1 place that everyone wants to stay at. But really, I mean, if you are looking at places in terms of affordability, places that are close to other attractions and all that stuff, is it really worth paying $600 to $800 to $1,000+ a night to stay at Marina Bay Sands? Or are there other options there where you could achieve the same type of result of convenience and moving around but not spending too much? So I think the first question we need to look at is, we all come from different countries, okay? And Singapore is not like any other country, I think, in the entire region, okay? Singapore is actually a really, really small place, okay? How small? So I just wanted to give you a bit of insight here. So if you can have a look at the bottom left, right, what I've done is I've charted the distance, okay, by not by public transport, by private car, okay, if you were to go from Changi Airport all the way to Legoland. All right, so Changi Airport would be on the far right, that's where you guys land, okay, and then you would head out to Tuas, right, which is the outer left hand side out of Singapore. Right, there are two exits out. So the left-hand side is to Tuas, which is the one that's closest to Legoland, and you would take that going 40. It's about 41 minutes. I did the timing this afternoon and just did some checking on the times. It's about 41 minutes, okay, to travel nearly 50 kilometers, okay, to the left. Right, then you go out through the checkpoints and you end up at Tuas. At Legoland, from Tuas to Legoland. Okay, so the bulk of the time that you spend traveling to Legoland, if you're coming from the airport, will be in Singapore. and then the shorter segment will be out to Legoland, right? To us is the point at which there are traffic jams, okay? So just be mindful of that. You don't always get a clean run through, but if you do want to go to Legoland, you do need to prepare for traffic jams. All right, so talking about how big Singapore is only about, 45 minutes at most, okay? You think about your home country, okay? Your home country is probably 45 minutes is probably like from your place into the city, or maybe it's not even, it'll take even longer for that to happen, right? It'll probably take you maybe 1 hour or 2 hours because you've got traffic jams and horrendous accidents that happen along the way. But really, Singapore is quite small. You do have accidents from time to time, and those are displayed on the apps that we have, right? But the driver needs to worry about that. But end to end, it's only like a 45 minute drive, and most people do not travel from Changi Airport all the way to Tuas every day. Okay, so wide. Okay, it's about 50 kilometers. What about north to south? All right, so I've just taken another kind of random couple of points just to give you a demonstration of how big or small Singapore is. Okay, so if we take Sentosa Island down the bottom, and then we chart a track that goes all the way up, okay, all the way straight up, out through Woodlands Checkpoint, again going to Legoland, but it's 30 kilometers going from south to the north and back. Okay, it's like 30 kilometers each way. It's not far. 50 kilometers wide, 30 kilometers north to south. Okay, all right, so that's giving you an idea, right? Again, it takes you like 33 minutes if you're going to drive. A 30-minute drive in your home country, how far does it get you? That's really the question. But for Singapore, a 30-minute drive, you're out of the country already. Okay, so that's, again, we do have expressways, so it does make for a very smooth and easy journey. Okay, now I wanted to give you another comparison, okay, in terms of how the sizes do make a difference. Okay, if again you'll see at the bottom here, okay, if you see the cursor, the bottom part here is Singapore. Okay, that's the whole island. And if you wanted to go to KL, which a lot of people do, okay, they will go and take the bus and they will travel all the way from Singapore up the whole way out into KL, right? So I've just put there Petronas Twin Towers because everyone wants to go there. And that trip can take you about 4 hours as of this afternoon, okay? But the 4 hours does not include traffic jams which may pop up along the way, okay? And if you do get an accident along the way, you can add another 2 or 3 hours on there, right? Easily. So just keep that in mind, okay? So all the way to KL, it's about 360 kilometers. Okay, so if you're thinking about Singapore, the previous slide, right, we had 30 kilometers going to Woodlands, so from Sentosa to Woodlands, and 360 kilometers going all the way to KL. That's like 12 times the distance. Okay, so how big is Singapore? It is really, really not big. Okay, so why am I going through this? Because you need to know, right, the distances that you're dealing with when you're choosing things like hotels. And the focus today is really about how do I choose the best budget hotel, okay, or the best located hotel, right, with the budget that I have. All right. So what I've done for you is there are three predominantly hotspot areas that always tend to come up when you're reviewing the feeds, and you'll see that the places are staying around the Geylang area, okay, staying around the Chinatown area, and staying around the Bugis area. Okay, these are the three main areas that people usually stay at, okay, for the budget conscious people. So I've raised previous concerns about staying around the Geylang area, okay, stuff about safety, right, because it is the red light district, that particular area. Okay, so if you've got young children, you're coming back on a Saturday night, things kind of get a bit rowdy around there. Okay, then there is, you know, Chinatown, and then there's Bugis as well. Okay, so Bugis is the one in blue, Chinatown's the one in pink on your screens. So you'll be able to see this is the distance, okay, that you're looking at. Now, I'm just going to show you, right, here, if you look at the cursor, okay, your Gardens by the Bay is around here, okay? Your Marina Bay Sands is here, okay? Chinatown is here, Bugis is here. So it really is all very, very central, okay? Your Singapore Flyers around here, Suntec City, your Vivo City would be here, Sentosa is here. Everything is really central and really close together, okay? So again, coming back to the question, does it really matter where you stay? Well, that depends on you. Giving you a bit of insight, okay? So zooming into a bit more detail, here we have, so I've done this, this table, okay, that would take the 3 stations, the Bugis station, the Chinatown station, as well as the Al Junaid station, and the distance that it takes, and the later we'll look at sample times, but the price as well, okay, into places like this. Okay, so I've just listed a few destinations and just done a few comparisons here. So Chinatown, Marina Bay Sands, Gardens by the Bay, Singapore Zoo, Universal Studios or Sentosa, Little India, Orchard Road, Singapore Botanic Gardens. So you see, these are the common places that people go to, okay, in terms of, I'm coming to Singapore, I want to see all the famous things. It's these places on the right under destination. So I've also listed for you the MRT that is the closest to these places, okay? So if you want to go to Chinatown, you get off at the Chinatown MRT. Marina Bay Sands will be Bayfront. Gardens by the Bay, you have a choice of either Bayfront or Marina Bay MRT. If you want to go to the zoo, you can get off at Khatib. Universal Studios or Sentosa, you get off at Harbourfront. Little India, you go to Little India MRT. Orchard Road will be Orchard MRT. And then Botanic Gardens, you get off at the Botanic Gardens MRT. Okay? And then what I've done is I've listed the distance between the 2 MRT stations, the one where you get on and the one where you get off, and you'll see the price. Okay? So if you were staying, for example, at Bugis, okay, I didn't cater for the distance for your hotel, because there are many hotels, for your hotel to the Bugis MRT station. But if you measure from the Bugis MRT station to the Chinatown MRT station, the ride is about 6.8 kilometers. It'll cost you $1.38. Okay, that's using your EasyLink card or using your debit or credit card. Okay, so you just got to tap in, tap out, and it costs you $1.38 to get there. Okay, from Bugis to Chinatown. If you want to go to, you're staying at Bugis and you want to go Marina Bay Sands, it'll cost you 99 cents. Gardens by the Bay, 99 cents. If you want to go to the zoo, which is by far the really the furthest place that most people go, the zoo, which is taking a train to Khatib, it'll cost you $1.81. Okay, Harbourfront $1.38, Little India 99 cents, $1.09 for Orchard, and $1.29 for Botanic Gardens. Okay, so that's if you're coming from Bugis. Now, if you were to stay at Chinatown, okay. So Chinatown, again, I've just put the same destinations, the same place to get off, right, in terms of MRT stops. Again, it's, Chinatown to Bugis, it'll cost you $1.09. Chinatown to Bayfront costs you 99 cents. To Marina Bay MRT is 99 cents. If you're going to the zoo, it'll cost you $1.89. To Harbourfront, Sentosa, it'll cost you $1.09. Little India 99 cents, Orchard 109, and Botanic Gardens $1.38. So you see the prices are really very, very similar. Okay, it's a few cents here and there. Okay, so that's the difference between Chinatown and Bugis. okay? And then we'll have a look at Aljunied, okay? So if you used to stay in the Geylang area, the closest MRT would probably be Aljunied, depends where you're staying in Geylang area. But Aljunied, here you go. The prices are a little bit more because Aljunied is a little bit further out, but they're still not, you know, really out of this world, okay? These ones are ranging about $1, okay? So that it's the same locations that you're going to, $1.09, and I think the most expensive is $1.89, okay? And then all the prices in between, okay? Again, going backwards to Chinatown, the prices are like, was it 99 cents to $1.89, and similar type of thing for Bugis. Okay, so Bugis starts from 99 cents, Chinatown starts from 99 cents, and if you're staying at Aljunied, it's going to start from $1.09, right? 10 cents more, it's nothing. Okay, so that's just giving you an idea. If you find these really helpful, okay, I can send these to you. Just ping me, and then we'll see what we can do about that. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch this around a little bit. So let's say, okay, again for comparison purposes, let's say you're going to Chinatown. Okay. How far, right? How far would it take in terms of time? Okay. So this is all the time analysis. So if you're looking at Bugis to Chinatown, again, you know, the distance and the price is the same. It's from the slides before, but I've added in the time, okay? So it's just a simple go to Google Maps, put in the distances, and Google Maps will tell you the approximate time, okay? It's 20 minutes. Or if you're coming from Aljunied, it'll take you like half an hour, okay? Roughly around there. Because and the reason is because you've got to go and change lines. So Aljunied is on the green line, and Chinatown is on a different line, which will be either purple or blue. Okay, so you do have to change it as well. Another example here, okay, would be would be going to Gardens by the Bay. Okay, another popular area. So you see the distance here. Okay, oops, that shouldn't say. Oh, it shouldn't say walk. That should be the time. Sorry, the titles are wrong. So the time that it takes is 16 minutes, right? If you're coming from Bugis, right? If you take the Bayfront line, if you're coming from Bugis and you're taking the Marina Bay line, it's 28 minutes. So obviously, if you're coming from Bugis, you'd get off at Bayfront and then walk, because they're about the same, and Gardens by the Bay is in the middle of the two. Okay, from Chinatown, you'd choose going by the Bayfront MRT line, which will take you 14 minutes. If you're coming from Aljunied, it takes you about double the time. Okay, again, because Aljunied is a bit further out, so it'll take you about half an hour, roughly, whichever way you go. Okay, so that's again giving you an idea, and you'll see the cost comparison as well, right? So if you're coming from Bugis or Chinatown, it just costs you 99 cents. But from Aljunied, it'll cost you like minimum is $1.29. Again, not a lot of money. Okay, the difference is what, 20 cents or so, right? 30 cents. Okay, all right. And then the last example that I've given you is this one for Universal Studios. So Universal is another popular destination where everyone wants to go, but because Universal Studios is out, okay, so it's not within that kind of similar Marina Bay area. It's further down south. Okay, so I've given you the three options. Okay, if you're staying at Bugis, it'll take you about half an hour, 33 minutes. Okay, if you're staying at Chinatown, it'll take you about 13 minutes. Again, because Chinatown is further south, and because Chinatown, the line that it's on is the purple line as well. Okay, so you don't need to change trains. You can just hop on the train at Chinatown and just go straight down to Sentosa, okay, Harbourfront MRT. So it's 13 minutes. So that's significantly less than the other two. And then Aljunied is 34 minutes, okay. So Bugis is also on the, it has two lines. It has the blue one and the green one. Aljunied is only on the green one, okay. So the stops are Bugis, let me think, Bugis, Lavender, Kallang, and then Aljunied. So between Aljunied and Bugis, it's really not very far. Okay, so that's something that you can have a look at. All right. So again, it's just giving you an example. Okay, I'm not influencing you to tell you must go and stay at this place, or this place is definitely better. Okay, and I will show you how to do that yourself. Okay, but I'm showing you that actually there isn't much in terms of price, and there isn't much in terms of distance. Okay, in terms of difference depending on where you're staying. Now, there's a couple of questions which most people have to ask. Okay, so one of them is why not take a bus? Okay, why am I doing everything by MRT? And the reason is really quite simple. Okay, if you're on a bus, the bus moves, it stops at a bus stop, and then as long as people are kind of getting on or getting off, okay, after that the door's shut and then the bus moves on again. Okay, the bus can be crowded. You're not going to be able to kind of push your way through the crowd if you're not too sure, and then last minute figure out, hey, actually that was my stop. Okay, and that's probably the biggest reason you should not catch a bus, because the landmarks which are usually there are not familiar to you. Okay, things, so there might be certain things that are pretty obvious, like Marina Bay Sands is huge. Okay, so okay, I can see Marina Bay Sands and I'll get off. But there may be some stops where they'll say, oh, it's the UIC building, for example, and you don't know what the UIC building looks like. You have no idea. You probably have to stick your head out of the bus and try and look. Where does it say UIC? Have I passed it already, or or I haven't passed it yet? And so you start freaking out and getting really paranoid. Okay, and the worst thing is if you miss your stop, you'll realize like after 2 or 3 or 4 stops that you've missed your stop. So you get off the bus and you don't know where you are, and you don't know which bus you're going to catch to come back, right? Obviously, by then you're pretty flustered. You don't know where you are. So what do you end up doing? You flag a taxi and you ask the taxi uncle to take you to wherever you're going, right? And that'll just blow out your budget, okay? Because taxis are a different price range, okay? So, if you are familiar with buses, go ahead, okay? And if you are familiar with the landmarks, definitely go ahead, because some are definitely, a shorter path, okay? And if you do know how to get around, go for it. But I think if it's your first time, try not to take the bus. MRTs are a lot safer. When you get off the MRT, if you're not sure which exit to take, okay, go to a passenger service center and go and ask somebody, or just ask a local, right? And the local will say either I don't know, okay, or this way, and then they'll just point, and that's it. It's really that simple, okay? You don't have the time pressure of should I get off the bus or shouldn't I, okay? So that's one thing. Next question is, how far is too far from an MRT? Okay, so this one's an interesting question as well, because a lot of people may think it's not too far, okay? And in this particular season, right, with the weather not being so hot and humid, okay, we do get quite a lot of rain compared with other times of the year, but this particular season, around November, December, January, maybe even February, it's a lot cooler, okay? So it's not too bad if you want to walk a little bit, right? I would say 7-minute walk is comfortable. Anything more than that, it's a bit of a task if you've got young children, or if you've got elderly, or if everyone's just tired, right? You've spent a whole day on your feet at Universal Studios walking around. You've done definitely over 10,000 steps, and then you still have to walk again, for another 10 minutes or something to get to your hotel, okay? So the preference really should be choosing a hotel that is very close to the MRT. Closer is better, okay? If you're looking at places like Chinatown or Bugis, even better, because those places have shopping centers, a lot of food places around. So if you've gone out, a long day and you're just tired and you just said, look, I just want to go to a hotel, I've got a headache, I'm tired, you can go catch the MRT. You get off at the MRT at Chinatown or Bugis, you can just turn around and there are food stalls all over the place. Just pack something, ask for a takeaway box, and then just go to your hotel, which is nearby, go to your room, eat quickly, shower and sleep, and then recover. Okay, so it's always good not to be too far away from the MRT. Ideally 5-minute walk, 7 minutes would be kind of the max that I would recommend. Okay, all right, and then the last one, do I take an MRT everywhere, or can some places be walked? Okay, definitely some places can be walked. And again, it goes back to the previous slides where I showed the location, right? Apart from Sentosa, which is a bit further down, okay, the rest really is quite concentrated in a particular area. In fact, you could walk around the whole Marina Bay area well within an hour, okay, and you could cover so many things there, right? So you don't always have to catch an MRT. Sometimes check if walking might be a better option. Okay, if you're using Google Maps, there are different options that you can click. One of them is by vehicle, by car. Okay, another one is by public transport, so choose the MRT. And then another option would be walking. Okay, so just keep in mind that if you are catching the MRT, you also have to kind of go down the stairs, go walk to the MRT, wait for the MRT to come. I mean, MRTs usually come like probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, right? They're really quite frequent. There is no schedule. Well, there probably is a schedule, but nobody needs to know, right? Because they come so frequently. But by the time you get down and then wait and then travel on the MRT and then walk back up, you can probably have walked to the other destination already, okay? Because Singapore is quite close. So do investigate, whether you can walk it. All right. That would be one of the big tips I'll give you. Okay. All right. So the other thing, right, was this, and this last topic that I'll cover. And if you do have questions that you need answered, right, on this topic or any other topic, you put them into the chat. Okay, because in the next couple of minutes we're going to be wrapping up. So any questions that are there, I'll answer them. All right, so where should I stay? So this is the best way, okay, to determine where you should stay. All right, I'm not advocating that you book things through booking.com, okay. I will show you this one as well, okay. This one is Agoda, all right, and there are reasons why I've picked this. Okay, so just showing you that there are two different sites. So I'm just going to go to the actual page. Okay, let's just do this. So I've just put in some random stuff. Okay, I've just picked 2 dates here. So you've got a January the 17th, okay, to Friday, January the 17th to January the 19th. Okay, I've done the same thing for Agoda here, right? 17th to 19th. Okay, I'm just showing you the method of how to do your homework. Okay, I'm not telling you go and do it through booking.com. I'm not telling you go do it through Agoda. I'm not telling you do it any particular way, but I'm just saying how you should do your research. And research is important because that'll be the thing that saves you money. Okay, so after you put in the dates, you say how many people, how many rooms, where you're going, just put Singapore and then click search. Okay, then what will happen is by default, right, you will see that it comes up as our top picks. Okay, our top picks are sponsored bookings. Okay, they are not necessarily the best picks for you. Okay, so let me just tell the first timers. Right, if this is your first time traveling overseas or first time using booking.com or Agoda or some other platform, make sure you click properly. Okay, I would pick, okay, so this, even for my family holidays, I would pick best reviewed and lowest price. Okay, because for us, that is what matters. Does distance matter in Singapore? No, it doesn't. So there is, the other option, distance from the city center. If I was in a different country, yeah, distance matters. But like I showed you before, Singapore is very small, okay? And the difference is like maximum 15 minutes or so. So I just picked best reviewed and lowest price. Okay, now that you've done that, everything pops up here. Okay, and you've got this whole list. So the reviews are the ones where other people have stayed at the hotel, and then they write their comments and they say, hey, I've stayed at this hotel, I really liked it. Someone might say, I stayed at this hotel and I didn't like it. And then this score, right? So you see there are 29 reviews and this person scored a 9, or the average is a 9. You see there are 322 reviews. So it's quite a lot of reviews and an 8.8 average, which is not too bad. Okay, so this one you'll see is in Chinatown. And it's like, interesting. Okay, so you get this whole list, right, going down. Okay, I'll show you Agoda, right? Same type of thing. We've done the 2 dates, we've done Singapore, and if again, let's just put it as top reviewed, right? So the best scores 8.3, 7.9, 6,000 reviews here, 9,000 reviews here, 17,000 reviews. So there's a whole bunch of reviews, right? But just for convenience, okay, I'm going to show you this on booking.com, and then just show you here, you put show on map. Okay, now this is the important bit. If you use booking.com, by default, it'll show you the maximum scale. Okay, your budget matters. Okay, and like I said, the reason why I don't recommend hotels and why I leave it up to you guys is because everyone has a different budget and everyone is looking for something different. Okay, so some people might say, there are popular filters here. Some people might say, my hotel must have a breakfast. Okay, so you click that button, right? And you see there are 163 hotels here within a $800 price range. 163 hotels offer breakfast in their $800 budget. Okay, but let's not do that. Let's just do this. Okay, uncheck the filter and then scroll it back down to I'll just pick a number. Okay, $170. Okay, and you'll see it's loading and it'll filter out those which are best reviewed and lowest price and up to $170. Okay, but you'll see here on the right there are things like red dots here, right? These are all red dots, and you'll see there are white dots here. The difference is the red dots are not available anymore. Okay, so remember we put in the dates and all that stuff. Okay, so if I said only show available properties, I will click that button and then we should see the red dots disappear. There you go. So we only have the white dots. So these are the hotels where they have available places up to $170 between the dates that you're looking for. And I've clicked it such that these are the ones with the best reviews first, and then as you scroll down, the reviews go to 8.7, 8.5, 8.6, 8.5, and whatever, and the numbers start going lower and lower. Again, if you want to find a place that offers breakfast in the $170, right? Again, you click that. If you wanted twin beds, you click that. There are 69 of them. If you're looking at hotels and you don't want to stay at a capsule or hostel, there are 112 of those, right? And so you can go through and click all this stuff. Okay. Once you do that, okay, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so we'll just pick one here. And again, if you want to use Agoda or use some other platform, go ahead. But I'm just giving you the logic of how you do your search, okay, and how you do your selection. Okay, so we just click the first one. This is the one with which had a good rating here. So if you scroll down, right, it's got number of guests, price for 2 nights, $124. Right, and you can click you want to reserve, you can cancel it for free before the 14th of January, all that type of stuff, right? And you'll see the features here, guest reviews, it's an 8.1, the staff are good, the value for money is good, The rest of the stuff is okay. You'll see some reviews here, what other people thought of it. Okay. And then all the other stuff here, right? If you want terms and conditions and stuff like that. Okay. If you want to show it on a map, okay, specifically where you're looking at. Okay, so let me see. Show on a map. So if I clicked that, is it coming up? Okay, here it is. So capsule pod at Aljunied, you can see it's here, $124. And this one looks quite okay. It's right next to the MRT, which is great. Okay, don't know about the neighborhood though, but in terms of is it close to the MRT? Yeah, it's not bad. In fact, it's pretty good, right? That'll take you like a 1-minute walk or so, right? So the only thing about this I will gather is it's a capsule hotel, right? And capsule isn't for everyone. Okay, so that's just giving you an idea, right, of how things work. Okay, again, I don't represent booking.com, I don't represent Agoda, I don't represent anyone. Okay, this is just a review, just to give you an idea of how you should do your searching, how you should do your travel plans. Okay, it can apply to Singapore, it can apply to any other country in the world, right? Similar type of logic. All right, so I think that's about it. I don't see any questions in the chat. I see a big wow from Aubrey. Thanks very much. But apart from that, that's about it. Next week, I may look to do something a bit different. Maybe heading out to Changi Airport again, doing a different path, right? I know last time it was a bit popular going from Terminal 3. So let's see what we can do, and I may take the line going from Terminal 3 again out to Bugis, but changing at Expo instead and taking the blue downtown line. Let's see. You know, I've got a few things planned for next week, but haven't really nailed anything down. So have a good week. Hope things go well with your travel planning. If you do have questions, drop me a line through private message or in the group page, right? Remember that we've got a SG Travel Buddy free itinerary and tips page, right, which is a group, so you can start posting in there as well, and that'll benefit everybody else. Okay, so yeah, wish you all the best and take care.